I get it. I get that millions of people, mainly white, do not like symbols and icons of the past to be swept away and suddenly gone with the wind. I understand that people are angry. They view the Confederate flags and statues to be symbols of white supremacy, slavery, and oppression. I see why African Americans are afraid for their sons or their brothers to go to the corner drugstore or take a run in the park. My heart beats for those police, the good ones, who put their lives on the line every day while the rest of us enjoy some level of security. I feel compassion for lovers of history and heritage who don't understand why military bases named after Americans gone Confederate should change. But there are limits to getting, understanding, seeing, beating, and feeling. Above all, America, if it stands for anything, must stand for the rule of law, which means if a good cop turns, he must be punished. While racism is woven into the fabric of our lives, and while it must stop now, knocking over Confederate monuments, taking over police stations, and neighborhoods are not a human right. Those are legal wrongs. I wish our Commander-in-Chief Donald Trump could lead this country during these days of severe peril. He can't. He is the problem. When the top military generals go public in opposition to the president's support of racial symbols of the past, they do so because they know that minorities make up a considerable population of the military, and the black and brown men and women are spilling their blood into the desert sands. The long-deceased Civil War Confederate generals are not. When a symbol of Southern heritage, soaked in hate, is now being prohibited by NASCAR, the president should recognize that symbols do hurt, whether it's swastikas or flags reminding us that we're not equal. When protesters have gone violent, a president should know that red meat bleeds and rots over time. A firm but caring voice of compassion goes much further than gassing Americans in a federal park so he can convert a symbol of faith into a depraved political presentation of selfishness. We live in very troubled and most hypocritical times. We can't one day blast those people who put our health at risk so they can protest without masks to open up the economy, but the next day or the next week, we forget that thousands are dying to the pandemic that just won't go away. I don't know the answer to our problems other than to be quiet, listen, to endeavor to understand, and to be civil, which is quite different when we wave our own outrages on the street as the country's moral and governmental leader is totally consumed with winning November 2020. So I get it. I really do.